Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet an international expert who's going to teach us all how to have authentic connections. Her journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I think you'll agree with me that we've never lived in a more connected world in terms of technology, but a more disconnected world when it comes to authentic communications and connections. I mean, I know a lot of people who boast that they have 12,000 followers on LinkedIn, but they can't name 10 of them. And that's not a real connection. To talk about that today, a good friend of mine, Renée, I'm getting nervous. Renée Marino, she is an international speaker, connection expert, and best-selling author, and most importantly, my friend. See, you got me all nervous.
Oh, that's good. Nerves are just excitement
Yes.
turned upside down.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's start a little bit with your history. Like, how did you arrive here?
Yes. Well, I was a professional actress for many, many years on Broadway, in film and TV, and communicating from the vessel of the screen and the stage just always felt so natural to me. And in 2019, I was performing in my most recent Broadway show, Pretty Woman the Musical, and I saw this need for help in the area of communicating effectively and connecting in this digital world. So I said, I'm going to write a book about this. I'd always wanted to write a book. So I said, enough of talking about it, I'm going to do it. And while I was performing in the show, I began writing my book called Becoming a Master Communicator. And when that show was done, Jeff, I said, I'm ready to activate my other gifts of speaking, of teaching, helping people to connect better. And I took a course to become a coach, and then the world shut down. So it was divine timing because I couldn't have performed even if I wanted to. And the first thing I started helping people do was to get on video and connect and communicate through video and feel themselves and confident. And from there, I have been helping business owners, entrepreneurs to connect with their teams and clients through effective communication. And I get to speak all over the world, and it's a gift.
And if she seems familiar to you, it's because she was the star of Jersey Boys, both on Broadway and on the silver screen.
Yes.
We're going to show a clip, but I want you to set up this clip. Okay, so
Yes.
Clint Eastwood discovered you.
Yes, that story is incredible, that entire story. I was doing this show on Broadway, and he saw me perform. I tried to get an audition for the film, wasn't getting it. Spoke up in the audition room and said I'd love to read for the role. Long story short, I end up gaining the greatest opportunity of my life, playing Mary Delgado in the film. And I came to find out that he was waiting for me to walk through that audition room the entire time, but there was a middle person casting associate who didn't call me into audition. So that's the power of speaking up and communication. So yes, then I got to do the film, and what you're gonna see is the scene when Frankie and I first meet and we go out for our first date.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Nah, Castelluccio. Francis Castelluccio.
Kind of long for a marquee.
That's why I changed it. Valley. V-A-L-L-Y.
No. V-A-L-L-I.
How come?
Because Y is a bullshit letter. It doesn't know what it is. Is it a vowel? Is it a consonant?
Never thought about it.
Plus, what you're Italian, you gotta end in a vowel. Delgado, Castelluccio, pizza, Valley with an I. It says this is who I am. You don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
Wow. That's a very unusual fragrance. Never smelled anything like that before. What do you call it?
So,
Tommy warned me about you.
yeah, what'd he say?
Said I couldn't handle you.
That's because he couldn't. So your group?
The Varietons.
Yeah, just you and Tommy.
And his brother Nick and this other guy, Nicky.
So where were they?
They went away for a while.
What for?
They did some things.
Friends like that, maybe you should just change your name to Sinatra.
I'm gonna be as big as Sinatra.
Only if you stand on a chair.
Hey, why you gotta say that kind of stuff?
Look, first of all, Sinatra wouldn't be caught dead in that jacket. Where'd you get it?
I don't know. Tommy got it off a truck.
Exactly. Tommy's a two-bit hustler. He doesn't see the big picture.
Yeah, so what do I do?
Come in. You got a nickel?
Yeah.
Call your mother. You're gonna be home late.
Now, Renee's very handsome husband is sitting behind the scenes here, and it still bothers him a little bit when he sees his wife kissing somebody on the screen. Okay, so let's move from that to your speaking career, because I think there is a difference between even performing on Broadway, playing a character, and really connecting with an audience. So do you remember the first time you were called to give a speech?
Oof. That was probably back in elementary school, and I had to speak about something I wrote about my father. And I remember it feeling so natural. It felt like the fullest of expression of myself. Like, oh, great, I get to share my thoughts, my ideas. And that's how I feel now as a speaker. I feel so honored and blessed to be able to share this message of authentic communication and connection in this world that's driven by digital technology, to really help people get back to that real connection, which is so important. So to be able to speak all over the world and share that message is a gift.
And she just put together a new sizzle reel for this year. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I said, how powerful has this day been so far?
Author, actress Renée Marino.
Renée Marino.
Renée Marino.
Renée Marino.
Renée Marino.
Renée Marino.
Renée Marino of Linden, TEDx speaker and best-selling author.
She does it all. Actor, singer, dancer.
You're all over the place, really instilling people with confidence and the way they communicate.
Whatever the case may be, I believe everything starts with communication.
She's the author of the new book, Becoming a Master Communicator.
And she's a renowned actor from Clint Eastwood's Jersey Boys and many Broadway shows.
I've been watching you in our groups, the energy, the love you give, the authenticity you give.
Talk from the heart, because speaking up is your superpower. Everything we want is first activated from within.
So make sure to stay committed, keep going all in, because if I can do it, here I am on this virtual stage, you can do it too. Because remember, that's what we are able to do when we follow our hearts and we take imperfect action consistently. I just immersed myself in the knowledge industry.
Never stop going. You have to keep going forward, and even through the rejection, always stay true to yourself. And that's what my father always said.
Yeah, you're my master connector. Queen connect. We're going to play with that.
Woo!
Connection, the connection queen.
Make eye contact. Let the person who's sitting across from you know that you are invested in what they're saying. What a beautiful way to let another human being feel seen, heard, and understood. And that's all we want as human beings.
It's about being so grounded and owning who you are.
We never know what another person could be going through. And maybe by giving that sincere compliment, we pull them out of one of the darkest thoughts that they're having.
You want to learn how to communicate? You want to learn about the business? You call Renée Marino.
We must be the change we wish to see. Amen. Amen.
Everything we want is in the last place we look for it. Inside.
Okay, I know there are going to be people watching who say, it's easy for her, but I could never do that. Can you teach just about anybody?
Absolutely. It's a practice. And that's what I want everyone to understand, that anything that's worth doing takes practice. And if you believe that it can be done, but it always first starts up here. And the first step of what I teach, my 7-step connect method, is communication with self. And that's how you're talking to yourself, how you're connecting within. That's the missing link, I believe, nowadays with so many of us, because instead of asking how we're feeling, we roll over to our nightstand and grab our smartphone and start with the good old SNC, scroll and compare, where we're worrying about the lives of others. So yes, this can be learned if you believe that you can do it and you put in that consistent, imperfect action.
Okay, let's talk about your best-selling book. We're going to put the cover of the book on the screen. What year did you write the book?
This was, 2 years ago it was released, yes.
Awesome. What's one of the takeaways from the book?
If you are someone who is not comfortable making conversation, a simple practice in the book is to bring a wing person with you, that friend of yours that can go out and have a great night. Pick somewhere you're comfortable with, and you have to challenge yourself to make conversations with as many people as you can. And the wing person has to sit next to you and give you that gentle nudge of courage when you feel afraid. And you create this practice of starting conversation, being the first to engage. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
I love that. And it affects all areas of your life, right? I could see everything from, getting along better with your coworkers to learning how to flirt better if you're single.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, let's talk about you've been featured in a big publication. We're going to put this picture up on the screen because you had to be excited about this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Success Magazine. How cool is that?
It's so cool.
All right, tell us about the feature.
It's so cool, Jeff. I'm so incredibly honored. It is a feature called A Day in the Life of, and it goes through a day in the life of myself and what I do when I wake up and my meditations and what I do when I'm helping clients. So it was really mind-blowing to see. Like, I opened up the magazine and I was like, oh my goodness, this is me.
All right, and I want to talk about the reason you're in Dallas.
Yes.
So we've got a graphic we're going to put up on the screen. Tell us about this event.
This is the Aspire event, my friends. If you don't know about the Aspire Tour, please go to aspiretour.com. It is one of the greatest personal development events in the world to help you grow financially, personally, and professionally. Some of the greatest speakers and leaders around the world share tools of how to aspire to the next level of your life. Wow. And I am honored to be one of the speakers here in Dallas tomorrow.
I saw Mark Cuban on the screen. That's kind of cool.
Oh my goodness, Mark Cuban, Marcus Lemonis, Cody Sanchez, Tim Story, so many people that I look up to, which is incredible. To be sharing a stage with them is beautiful.
Okay, so we're in the final couple minutes of the show. So give us some final thoughts, and maybe talk to the person who says, man, I think I need to either hire Renee or get her book or buy a ticket to the conference.
If you are someone that knows you have more within you, maybe in your business, maybe you're working in corporate and you're like, I know that if I just am able to share my ideas and my thoughts, I can move up to that next position that I'm deserving of. A client of mine took my group coaching program, the Connect Method, and his name is Matt. He was feeling like his gifts were not being appreciated at his job because the members of his team were much more boisterous, more in your face, and more comfortable connecting with people, where he was more behind the scenes. And once he learned that speaking up is your superpower, and he started to speak up and ask his CEO to have weekly meetings face to face, all of a sudden he feels so much more confident in his work, and he's even received compliments from his COO and CEO that they have said, this newfound voice is incredible, and we see it in all of the work that you're doing.
Wow, I am so mesmerized by you. Thank you for coming in and sharing your wit and your wisdom, and we're going to end with her website, which is reneemarino.com. Renee, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.